Hey guys, Dal here from Dal's Rigging and Crane Tips, a 2020 yeah. Now, on today's episode, tipping stuff over. Alright, tipping stuff over. Now, on today's episode, I'm not going to be tipping over square flat lifts like this because that's another video. But usually with that, you want to have two cranes and you want to have, or two hooks. So we'll leave that. What we want to focus on is skinny loads, which are about 1 meter wide or so, which have a flat ground, have a flat base, and we need to tip them over. All right. What are the tips? What are the tricks? All right. So first of all, you're the operator. So you're sitting in the cab right now. Okay. That's a scenario. You're looking at me. I'm the rigger. Whenever I'm tipping loads over, I want the load to be sideways to you. So that means I want it facing this way. If it's a block like this, we don't want to be jibbing down to tip it over. Because if it's heavy, you're going to increase the weight. We don't want to be going towards you because it's hard on the levers to try and jib up and winch down at the same time. And what happens is it skids over or it skids back and it's dangerous. So the best way is to get it sideways and use the crane operator, your slew. It's much easier for him and it's much safer. But the best way to do it, you put the load down, he can't really get it over, it's hard. What do? What we do is we get a timber, all right? We get a timber, we bring him up on the hook, and we just put it under one half of the load. Put it under one half of the load, we get him to come down on the hook, and naturally it starts tipping over, and he can slew over and winch down. All right, it's perfect. We used to have to do that with these big Hitachi digger counterweights, and they were huge, flat bottom, 15 ton. We'd just get a few big sleepers or one sleeper, come down. It's already started coming down. All right. Make sure the lugs, are shackle points. If they're like counterweight lugs, and you're coming down on one edge or on this edge, and it's going to come off. You don't want that. They've got to be fixed lugs, so you can come down. But that's the easiest way, bros. You get a timber, you put it on half of it, and you come down. All right? Now, say you've got steel plates that you need to tip over or something light that you need to tip over. Remember, always get it sideways to the crane operator so he can use his slew. So if he's slowing down, he can just come down, tap it, and come over. If he's coming down straight, another thing you can do is give it a push so it gets some momentum, and then he just has to come down on the hook and then it's tipped over. A nice little push, man, if it's a light load, and that gets it up, and then he just times it and he comes down. That's another great technique, all right? So that's the basics, all right? So heavy load with a flat bottom, put a timber under one half. Boom, it starts going over. It's perfect. You got light stuff which needs tipping over, a few of them. Get it sideways to the crane operator again so he can use his slew to come down. Steel plates and stuff. If he can't slew and he's just coming down, give it a push. And then he can do that with a hook. And then he's only got to use one lever. So that's the tips for tipping stuff over, all right? Because then that gets out the dangerous stuff. That gets out the guy trying to jib down and winch up, and you see it, and it's just fucking ugly, and it scoots over, and it can ram into something. It's no good. Grab a timber, small stuff, small steel plates, give it a push, or tell him to use a slew, but get it this way to the crane operator. Don't have it that way. Get it that way, all right, so he can use a slew. All right, I've repeated it myself 20 times now. Anyway, guys, like this video, subscribe here. More to come. Dal's Rigging Crane Tips, a 2020 yeah.